Money is useful, but it is not virtue, it is not character, and it is not freedom if you don't know who you are without it. We live in a world that measures your worth by your bank account. If you have it, you matter. If you don't, you vanish. But the Stoics had a more uncomfortable truth. Money doesn't make you powerful. It puts you to the test. Many think that having more is winning, but they don't understand that the more you have, the more you fear losing. The one who has everything and depends on it is a slave. The one who has little but owns himself is free. Marcus Aurelius knew this. Being emperor with everything at his fingertips, he still wrote that true wealth is inner strength. Because gold falls, empires collapse, currencies change, but character, that remains. What do you do for money? Do you sell yourself? Do you stay silent when you should speak? Do you betray yourself just to avoid losing it? There's your answer. You don't own money. Money owns you. The Stoics never said money is evil. What they said is, it's not necessary to live well. Epictetus, who had nothing, lived with more freedom than many kings because he didn't fear losing what he didn't need to be himself. And you, how much do you need to feel worthy? A car? A house? A high-limit card? Or do you need to look in the mirror and know you're not for sale? Poverty is not having nothing. True poverty is not being able to look at your life without feeling incomplete. The Stoic doesn't seek poverty, he seeks independence. And independence is not measured in zeros. It's measured in how much peace you can maintain, even if everything material disappears. They taught you to chase, to accumulate, to compete. But they didn't teach you to stop and ask why. Why have things you don't need to show people who don't matter? An image that isn't you. The Stoic breaks that chain. He doesn't say, I don't want money. He says, I want money not to possess me. I want it to not dictate my principles. I want to be able to lose it all and still be me. True wealth is not how much you have, but how much you don't need to be happy. And you know what's more valuable than money? Your time, your peace of mind, your strong body, your firm word, your clean conscience. When you lose those things for money, it costs more than you can pay. The problem isn't earning money, it's going blind for it. It's forgetting who you were before you had it, and fearing who you would be if you lost it. Can you be yourself even if you can't afford luxury? Can you look someone in the eyes with dignity, even if your account is empty? That is the test. That is where the soul is measured. You are not poor for having little. You are poor if you can't lose what little you have without losing your mind. And you are not rich for having a lot. You are rich if you can remain calm, whether money comes or goes. Freedom can't be bought. It is trained. It is cultivated with discipline, humility, and tough decisions. When you stop living to have and start living to be, then money becomes a servant, not your master. You can have success and wealth without selling your soul. You can grow, prosper, invest, but only if you remember this Stoic rule. Value never comes from outside. It always comes from within. And if one day life takes everything from you, let it not take the essential, your character, your integrity, your freedom. That is Stoic wealth. That is what cannot be broken. So earn money if you can. Work hard. Building. But remember, if a bill can change who you are, then you never truly knew yourself. We live in a world that idolizes money. It chases it, flaunts it, places it above truth, health, dignity, and even life itself. And in that process, we get lost. We're taught to desire, to accumulate, to compare. From childhood, we're pushed into a race with no finish. Earn more, buy more, shine more. But no one ever asks if what you're gaining is quietly stealing something even more important. Stoicism is not against money. It does not condemn it. It does not demonize it. It puts it in its place. Money is not good or bad. It is neutral. It is a tool. The problem is not the gold. It's that we become clay when we touch it. You know when you truly know a man? When he has power, and money is power. With money you can buy fake respect, instant pleasure, and temporary company. But you cannot buy what truly matters. Integrity, a steady soul, deep peace. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man of his time, emperor of Rome, master of armies, of lands of infinite riches. And yet he wrote in his meditations, "Own little, be master of yourself." Because he understood what few understand today. He who needs money to feel valuable was never valuable to begin with. The modern Stoic understands this. Money can facilitate things, but it cannot give you what only you can build. Mental strength, inner freedom, calm in chaos, purpose. What happens if you lose everything today? Your salary, your house, your savings. Who are you without that? Can you still look in the mirror and respect yourself? If the answer is no, then you were never free. You were a prisoner of illusion. Many say, money isn't everything. Then live as if it were. They sacrifice their time, health, relationships, their calling, their identity for a paycheck. And they justify it with fear, with cowardly phrases. It is what it is. We all have to eat. That's just life. Number life is what you choose to face, not what others taught you to endure. Seneca was rich, yes, very rich, but he was also able to give it all up because his wealth wasn't in currency. It was in his philosophy, his way of thinking, his self-mastery. He said it clearly, he is not poor who has little, but who wants more. And you, how much do you want? How much do you need to feel whole? A bigger house? A car others admire? A new phone every year? What if I told you that the more you need, the weaker you become? Because he who cannot live with little will never be free. Modern society has made luxury the norm, debt a trend, pretending a religion. And the Stoic doesn't play that game, because the Stoic doesn't want to belong to the herd. He wants to be free. Do you know what real luxury is? Sleeping in peace, knowing you didn't lie to get more, not selling yourself for a contract, not staying silent for fear of losing your income. Real luxury cannot be bought, it is trained. And this is not about living in poverty. It's about being able to lose it all and still not lose yourself. That is the heart of Stoicism on money. Voluntary indifference, not contempt, but distance. I have it, I use it, I manage it, but it doesn't control me. It doesn't define me. It doesn't chain me. Imagine this, a man who has little but sleeps well, thinks clearly, and lives aligned with his principles. Now imagine another, with millions in the bank, but full of anxiety, pressure, guilt, and voids money can't fill. Who is richer? Who has more power? The one who needs 10 hours a day to maintain his lifestyle, or the one who does more with less and owes nothing to anyone? Who has more freedom? The one who buys everything, or the one who needs nothing? Stoic philosophy gives you a different path. It says, earn what you need, use money wisely, manage, invest, share, but never depend on it for peace. Because if your mood swings with the market, if your dignity bends with the paycheck, if your principles break with an offer, then money isn't in your wallet, it's in your bloodstream, and it's poisoning you. The true Stoic can live with much, but also with nothing. He can adapt, not because he loves suffering, but because he knows what's essential can't be bought. Your courage is not for sale. Your word has no price. Your soul is not on offer. That is the Stoic code. That is the level you must reach. And how do you do it? With daily practice. Learn to be alone without buying distractions. Learn to say no, even if it costs you money. Learn to build your value from within. And above all, learn to lose without collapsing. Because life is change. Everything moves. And what you have today may be gone tomorrow. But if you remain firm, if you don't depend on the external, if you own yourself, then no one can take your true wealth. Money is useful. Yes, it buys time, medicine, tools. But if you lose your essence to have it, then you don't own it. It owns you. So use it. Don't worship it. Earn it with honor. Don't make it your identity. And if one day you lose it all, let the world say, that man fell, but he never sold out. That is the wealth that survives the centuries. That is the freedom no market can touch. That is the Stoic victory.